Good Tuesday afternoon. Yours truly, William Theo, here for PTV News Now. And we kick off our stories this afternoon with meat dealers wittingly or unknowingly putting in peril the health and lives of other hogs and even human beings with their deliveries of swine and sows tainted with a highly infectious African swine fever or ASF. The Bureau of Animal Industry or BAI confirmed earlier today of ASF-infected hogs seized at Metro Manila checkpoints over the weekend. On Saturday, 2 trucks laden with hogs were intercepted by BAI personnel at checkpoints in Quezon City and Valenzuela. Lab results released Sunday show 11 hogs from 1 truck manifested clinical symptoms of ASF contamination even before blood tests could be performed. Consequently, the tainted animals were condemned, put to sleep, and buried postate for good containment measure. The 38 other animals in the other trucks tested negative and were allowed to be slaughtered immediately. Dealers and traders in pigs and pork are repeatedly advised to keep their permits current or valid in the event of any inspection in-house or on the road. In addition, traders, transporters, and distributors are urged to comply with DA regulations, test their animals for symptoms that helps protect the country's hog and pork industry. It was his swan song, his first and final appearance on the grand stage, capping off over 50 years of a colorful political career and public service as he officially passed the torch to his anointed successor for the November race for the White House. Potus Joe Biden ended day 1 of the Democratic Convention in Chicago with a rousing keynote speech to fellow party mates, touting the successes of his term as chief executive, taking jabs and stabs at GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump as a serious threat to democracy, and passing the torch to his anointed Vice President Kamala Harris as the best fit for the toughest job on the planet, the U.S. presidency. Definitely a night to remember that featured speakers and prominent Democrat figures like Reverend Jesse Jackson, who was lauded for his work on civil rights, New York Congressman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, who hailed Joe Biden's advocacy and policy for working women and families, Golden State Warrior coach Steve Kerr, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who hoped for Kamala Harris to accomplish what she couldn't by breaking completely the glass ceiling, and the First Lady and First Daughter Jill and Ashley Biden, who paid tribute to the president as a kind and compassionate husband and father who loved America. In the end, POTUS Joe Biden urged all Americans to pick wisely and vote for the best choice for freedom and democracy.
Let me ask you, are you ready to vote for freedom? Are you ready to vote for democracy and for America? Let me ask you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, President and Vice President of the United States?
A group of defectors have put up a news website in Seoul to spill the beans on what's going on inside Hermit Kingdom of North Korean strongman Kim Jong-un. VOA's Bill Gallio shares his report from the South Korean capital.
When North Korea appears in global newscasts, it's usually scenes like this that dominate. The country's leader, Kim Jong-un, overseeing a weapons test. But those kinds of martial images obscure much of what's really going on in the country, says North Korean defector Lee Sun-min.
North Korea is more than nuclear weapons and Kim Jong-un. There is a lot of people with different perspectives and different hopes and goals for the future of their country.
Lee fled North Korea in 2012. He now helps run a website called NK Insider, whose goal is to elevate North Korean voices.
A lot of people are talking about North Korea, like the scholars or experts, but there is certain differences when you hear the voices of North Koreans who lived there in that system.
About 8 North Korean defectors write for the website, launched earlier this year. They communicate secretly with sources inside North Korea for their reporting. Some don't want to appear on camera. Zain Han, a former Pyongyang resident, fled North Korea just 2 years ago.
Nobody can imagine what the situation is like inside North Korea. what the people experience inside North Korea, really as a slave inside North Korea. But I was there, I know.
Han is one of very few North Koreans to recently make it to the South. That's because North Korea has tightened border security since the pandemic.
It's getting more and more difficult to see the new defection from North Korea. The ordinary North Korean people's chance is, I think, almost like a zero.
He says one of his goals is to speak for North Koreans who have no voice and cannot leave.
To give a platform to North Korean defectors and by extension to those still living inside North Korea.
Doing what he can to provide a more nuanced perspective of his homeland. Bill Gallo, VOA News, Seoul, South Korea.
And that's a wrap for this afternoon show. Join us anew later for PTV News Now Evening Edition. Stay connected by keeping it here for the news you can rely on. I am William Theo, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.